Hello folks, I have make or better I will making on maybe 2 videos about the topic German Democratic Republic, also known as the Deutsche Demokratische Republik, or short GDR, or on German GDR. And now I make first a video about the same topic, Deutsche Demokratische Republik, East Germany, or German Democratic Republic, GDR, or short DDR. East Germany, on German also known as Ostdeutschland, and officially known as the German Democratic Republic, GDR, or on German Deutsche Demokratische Republik, short DDR, was a country in Central Europe from its formation on the 7 October 1949 until its reunification with West Germany, the former also known Bundesrepublik Deutschland, or short BRD, on the 3rd October 1990. Until 1989, it was generally viewed as a communistic state and described itself as a socialist, workers and peasant state. The economy of the country was centrally planned and state-owned, although the GDR had to pay substantial war reparations to the Soviets, to the former also known Soviet states of Russia, or Soviet Russia, UdSSR, short UdSSR, you know of the Socialistic Soviet Republic. Its economy became the most successful of the so former also known Eastern Bloc, behind the Iron Curtain, the Eastern Bloc, East Europe. Before its establishment, the country territory was administered and occupied by Soviet forces following the Berlin Declaration. Abolition Germany sovereignty in World War II. The Potsdam Agreement established the Soviet-occupied zone, bounded on the east by the Oder-Neiße line. Oder and Neiße are rivers between Poland and East Germany, in former times and naturally also now. The Oder and the Neiße, that are rivers, and the Oder-Neiße linie is the crossing border. The GDR was dominated by the Socialist Unity Party of Germany, in short SED, Sozialistische Einheitspartei Deutschlands, Socialist Unity Party of Germany, short SED, Sozialistische Einheitspartei Deutschlands, a communist party before being democratized and liberalized in 1998, and as a result of the pressure against communist governments brought by the revolutions of 1998. Apology for my English, because English is not my native language. So I maybe make errors with the how to speak it out English. This paved the way for East Germany's reunification with the West. Unlike the government of West Germany, the SED did not see its state as the successor to the German Reich, what has existed between 1871 and 1945, and abolished the goal of unification in the Constitution in the year 1974. Apology for read it before wrong. The unification between East and West Germany was the goal in the Constitution, what was written in the year 1974. The SED, the Socialist Unity Party of East Germany, ruled the GDR, German Democratic Republic, was often described as a Soviet satellite state. Historians described it as an authoritarian regime. Geographically, the GDR bordered the Baltic Sea to the north, Poland to the east, Czechoslovakia to the southeast, and West Germany to the southwest and west. One moment, please. I must drink short a little bit coffee. So my mouth is wet for speaking. Internally, the GDR also bordered the Soviet sector of Allied occupied Berlin, known as East Berlin, which was also administered as the country de facto capital. It also bordered the three sectors occupied by the United States, United Kingdom, Great Britain, United Kingdom, Great Britain, and France, known collectively as West Berlin, de facto part of the FRG. No notion what is the for what stand FRG. Emigration to the west was significant problem, as many immigrants were well-educated young people. Such immigration weakened the state economically. In response, the GDR government fortified its inner German border and later built, built, built the West Berlin Wall in 1961. Many people attempting to flee were killed by the border guards or booby traps, such as landmines. In 1989, numerous social, economic and political forces in the GDR and abroad, one of the most notable being peaceful protests starting in the city of Leipzig, lead to the fall of the Berlin Wall and the establishment of a government committed to liberalization. The following year, a free and fair election was held in the country, and international negotiations between the four former Allied countries and the two German states commenced. The negotiations led to the signing of the final settlement treaty, which replaced the former Potsdam Agreement on the status and borders of future reunited Germany. The GDR ceased to exist when its 5 states, or on German 5 Länder, joined the Federal Republic of GDR. That was the short FRG, Federal Republic of Germany, the former BRD, Bundesrepublik Deutschland. Under Article 23 of the Basic Law, and its capital is Berlin, united with West Berlin on the 3rd October 1990. Several of the former GDR leaders, notably its last communist leader Egon Krenz, were later prosecuted for offenses committing during the GDR era. The naming conventions. The official name was Deutsche Demokratische Republik, German Democratic Republic. One moment, please. I make me a short cigarette. The official name was Deutsche Demokratische Republik, German Democratic Republic, usually abbreviated to DDR or GDR. Both terms were used in East Germany, with increasing usage of the abbreviated form, especially since East Germany considered West Germans and West Berliners to be foreigners following the promulgation of its second constitution in 1968. West Germans, the Western media and statesmen initially avoided the official name and its abbreviation, instead using terms like die Ostzone, Eastern Zone, sowjetische Besatzungszone, Soviet Occupation Zone, often abbreviated to SBZ, and sogenannte DDR, also called GDR. The center or the center of political power in East Berlin was in the west, referred to as Pankow, a part of the city Berlin, Pankow. The seat of command of the Soviet forces in Germany was in Karlshorst, a district in the east of Berlin. Over time, however, the abbreviation DDR was also increasingly used colloquially by West Germans and West German media. When used by West Germans, Westdeutschland or West Germany was a term almost always in reference to the geographic region of Western Germany and not to the area within the boundaries of the Federal Republic of Germany. However, this use was not always consistent, and West Berliners frequently used the term Westdeutschland to denote the Federal Republic. Before the World War II, Ostdeutschland or Eastern Germany was used to describe all the territories east of the Elbe or East Elbia, as reflected in the words of sociologist Max Weber and political theorist Carl Schmitt. The history. Explaining the internal impact of the GDR government from the perspective of German history in the long term, historian Gerhard A. Ritter in the year 2002 has argued that the East German state was defined by two dominant forces: Soviet communism on the one hand, and German traditions filtered throughout the interwar experience of German communists on the other. Throughout its existence, GDR consistently grappled with the influence of the more prosperous West, against which East Germans continually measured their own nation. The notable transformations instituted by the communist regime were particularly evident in the abolition of capitalism, the overhaul of industrial and agricultural sectors, the militarization of society, and the political orientation of both the educational system and the media. On the other hand, the new regime made, one moment please, short drink coffee. On the other hand, the new regime made relatively few changes in the historically independent domains of the science, the engineering professions, the Protestant churches, and in many bourgeois lifestyles. Social policy, says Ritter, became a critical legitimization tool in the last decades and mixed socialist and traditional elements about equally. Origins. As the Yalta Conference in the former World War II, or better, at the Yalta Conference during in the World War II, the Allies, what means the United States, United States of America, the United Kingdom, UK or Great Britain, and the Soviet Union, USSR or UdSSR, agreed on dividing defeated Nazi Germany into occupation zones, and on dividing Berlin, the German capital, among the Allied powers as well. Initially, this meant the formation of 3 zones of occupation. The American occupied zone of former complete Germany, the British zone, and the Soviet zone. Later, also a French zone was carved out of the US and British zones. The 1949 establishment. The ruling Communist Party, known as the Socialist Unity Party of Germany or Sozialistische Einheitspartei Deutschlands, SED, formed on the 21 April 1946 from the merger between the Communist Party of Germany, short KPD, Kommunistische Partei Deutschlands, and the Social Democratic Party of Germany, SPD, Sozialistische Partei Deutschlands. This or the 2 former parties were notorious rivals when they were active before the Nazi consolidated all power and criminalized them, and official East Germany and Soviet histories portrayed this merger as a voluntary pooling of efforts by the Socialist Party and symbolic of the new friendship of German socialists after defeating their common enemy. However, there is much evidence that the merger was more troubled than commonly portrayed, and that the Soviet occupation authorities applied great pressure on the SPD's eastern branch to merge with the KPD. And the communists, who held a majority, had virtually total control over the policy. The SED remained the ruling party for the entire duration of the East German state. It had close ties with the Soviets, which maintained military force in Eastern Germany until the dissolution of the Soviet regime in 1991. Russia continued to maintain forces in the territory of the former East Germany until 1994, with the purpose of countering NATO bases in West Germany. As West Germany was reorganized and gained independence from its occupiers between 1945 and 1949. The GDR was established in East Germany in October 1949. The emergence of the true sovereign states solidified the 1945 division of Germany. On 10 March 1952, apology when I not speak the year correct, 5 and 19, 5 and 4, 5 and 2, in what world become known as the Stalin Notes or Stalin Note. The General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, Joseph Stalin, issued a proposal to reunify Germany with a policy of neutrality with no conditions on economic policies and with guarantees for the right of man and basic freedoms, including freedom of speech, press, religious persuasions, political conventions and assembly, and free activity of the democratic parties and organizations. The West demurred. Reunification was not then a priority for the leadership of West Germany, and the NATO powers declined the proposal, asserting that Germany should be able to join NATO, and that such a negotiation with the Soviet Union would be seen as a capitulation. In 4 and 9, the Soviet internal control of East Germany over the SED, Socialist Unity Party of Germany, or Sozialistische Einheitspartei Deutschlands, SED, headed by Wilhelm Pieck, born in 1876 and died in 1960, who became the president of the GDR and held the office until his death, while the SED General Secretary Walter Ulbricht assumed most executive authority. Socialist leader Otto Grotewohl, born in 1894 and died in 1964, became a prime minister until his death. The government of East Germany denounces West German failures in accomplishing denazification and renounced ties to the Nazi past. Apology, the mouth is dry. I must drink a short coffee. Imprisoning many former Nazis and preventing them from holding government positions. The SED-CEF, a primary goal of ridding East Germany of all traces of Nazism. It is estimated that between 180,000 and 250,000 people were sentenced to imprisonment on political grounds. The zones of occupation or occupation, or yes, occupation, zones of occupation. In the Yalta and Potsdam conferences of 1904 and 5, the Allies established their joint military occupation and administration of Germany via the Allied Control Council, ACC, a four-power. This four-power was the United States, the United Kingdom, the USSR and France. Military government effective until the restorations of German sovereignty. In Eastern Germany, the Soviet Occupation Zone, or SBZ, or on German Sowjetische Besatzungszone, comprised the 5 states, Länder of Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, Brandenburg, Saxony, Saxony-Anhalt and Thuringia. Disagreements over the policies to be followed in the occupied zones quickly led to a breakdown in cooperation between the four powers, and the Soviets administered their zone without regard to the policies implemented in the other zones. The Soviets withdrew with the ACC in 1904 and 8. Consequently, as the other three zones were increasingly unified and granted self-government, the Soviet administration instituted a separate socialist government in its zone. 7 years after the Allies' 1904 and 5 Potsdam Agreement on common German policies, the USSR via the Stalin Note or Stalin Note on the 10 March 1905 and 2 proposed German reunification and superpower disengagement from Central Europe with the three Western allies, also known the United States, France, and the United Kingdom, rejected. The Soviet leader Joseph Stalin, a communist proponent of reunification, died in the early March in the year 1905 and 3. Similarly, Lavrentiy Beria, the first deputed prime minister of the USSR, pursued German reunification, but he was removed from power that same year before he could act on the matter. His successor, Nikita Khrushchev, or in Germany or in Europe also known as Nikita Khrushchev, rejected reunification as equivalent to returning East Germany from annexation to the West. Hence, reunification was off the table until the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1908 and 9. East Germany regarded East Berlin as its capital, and the Soviet Union and the rest of the Eastern Bloc diplomatically recognized East Berlin as the capital. However, the Western allies disputed this recognition, considering the entire city of Berlin to be occupied territory government from the Allied Control Council. According to Margaret Feinstein, East Berlin's status as the capital was largely unrecognized by the West and by the most third world countries. In practice, the ACC's authority was rendered moot by the Cold War. East Berlin's status was as occupied territory largely became a legal fiction, and the Soviet sector of Berlin became fully integrated into the GDR. The deepening Cold War conflict between the Western powers and the Soviet Union over the unresolved status of West Berlin led to the Berlin blockade between the 24th June 1948 and 12 or yes 12 and the 12th May 1904 and 9. The Soviet army initiated the blockade by halting all Allied rail, road and water traffic to and from West Berlin. The Allies countered the Soviets with the Berlin airlift between 1948 and 1949 of food, fuel and supplies to West Berlin. Partition. On the 21 April 1946, the Communist Party of Germany, the Kommunistische Partei Deutschlands, KPD, and the part of the Social Democratic Party of Germany, the Sozialdemokratische Partei Deutschlands, SPD, in the Soviet zone merged to form the Socialist Unity Party of Germany, or also known, moment please, apology, I must read it again. Partitions. On 21 April 1946, the Communist Party of Germany, or also known on German, die Kommunistische Partei Deutschlands, short KPD, and the part of the Social Democratic Party of Germany, the Sozialdemokratische Partei Deutschland, short SPD, in the Soviet zone merged to form the Socialist Unity Party of Germany, short SED, or long written die Sozialistische Einheitspartei Deutschlands, which then won the elections of October 1946. The SED government nationalized infrastructure and industrial plants. In March 1948, the German Economic Commission, die Deutsche Wirtschaftskommission, short DWK, under its chairman Heinrich Rau, assumed administrative authority in the Soviet occupation zone, thus becoming the predecessor of an East German government. On the 7th October 1949, the SED established the Deutsche Demokratische Republik, or on German also known as the German Democratic Republic, short the GDR, based on a socialist political constitution establishing its control of the anti-fascist National Front of the German Democratic Republic, short NF, or long written die Nationale Front der Deutschen Demokratischen Republik, an omnibus alliance of every party and mass organization in East Germany. This Nationale Front, or NF, was established to stand for election to the Volkskammer, People's Chamber. On German, this institution was the Volkskammer, on English the People's Chamber, the East German Parliament. The first and only president of the German Democratic Republic was Wilhelm Pieck. However, after 1950, political power in East Germany was held by the first secretary of the SED, Walter Ulbricht. On the 16th June workers constructing the new Stalinallee Boulevard in East Berlin according of the GDR's official promulgated 16 principles of urban design, rioted against a 10% production quota increase. Initially a labor protest, the action soon included the general populace, and on the 17th June 1953, 1953, 17 June 1953. Similar protests occurred throughout the GDR, with more than 1 million people striking in some 700 cities and towns, fearing anti-communist counter-revolution. On 18 June 1953, the government of the GDR enlisted the Soviet occupation forces to aid the police in ending the riot. Some 50 people were killed and 10,000 were jailed. For see more or read more, see the uprising of the 1953 in East Germany. The German war reparations owed to the Soviets. Im Moment, I look short. Yes, I was only checking is my record running. The German war reparations owed the Soviets impoverished the Soviet zone of occupation and severely weakened the East German economy into 1904 and 5 up to 1904 and 6 period. The Soviets confiscated and transported to the USSR approximately 3% of the industrial plant, and by the early 1950s had extracted some US $10 billion in reparations in agricultural and industrial products. The poverty of East Germany indicate or deepened by reparations provoked the, on German, Republikflucht, on English, desertion from the Republic to West Germany. Further weakening the GDR's economy, Western economic opportunities inducted a grain train. In response, the GDR closed the inner German border between East Berlin and West Berlin. And on the night of the 20 August 1961, East German soldiers began erecting the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall was the closest former German inner border between West Berlin and East Berlin. In 19 1978, Walter Ulbricht, was removed from leadership after Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev supported his ouster. Erich Honecker replaced him, while the Walter Ulbricht government had experimented with liberal reforms. The Honecker government reversed them. The new government introduced a new East German constitution, which defined the German Democratic Republic as a republic of workers and peasants. Apology, but that is hard for me to speak the complete time in a not my native language here on English, because I think German, and so I must all translate what I read here in my mind before I speak it out in a foreign language. That is so, like you as a American or Englishman would speak and read German the complete time. That is hard. That is really hard. Initially, East Germany claimed and an exclusive mandate for all of Germany, a claim supported by most of the communist bloc. It claimed that West Germany was an illegally constituted puppet state of the NATO. However, from the 1960s onward, East Germany began recognizing itself as a separate country from West Germany and shared the legacy of the United German States of 1871 and between 1871 to 1945. This was formalized in the year 1974, when the reunification clause was removed from the revised East German constitution. West Germany, in contrast, maintained that it was the only legitimate government of Germany. From 1949 to the early 1970s, West Germany maintained that East Germany was an illegally constituted state. It argued that the GDR was a Soviet puppet state and frequently referred to it as the Soviet occupation zone, or only zone, or sowjetische Besatzungszone, or Soviet zone on German. Soviet occupation zone, or short, only the zone, die Zone, or East zone, Ostzone. West Germany's allies shared this position until 1973, my year of birth I am born in 1973. East Germany was recognized primarily by socialist, socialist countries and by the Arab bloc, along with some scattered sympathizers. According to the Holstein Doctrine, make it in the year 1955, West Germany did not establish formal diplomatic ties with any country except the Soviets that recognized East German sovereignty. In the early 1970s, the Ostpolitik or Eastern policy of change track. Moment, I have make the text too much down. In the early 1970s, the Ostpolitik or Eastern policy of change track rapprochement of the pragmatic government of the FRG Chancellor Willy Brandt established normal diplomatic relations with the East Bloc states. This policy saw the Treaty of Moscow in August 1970, the Treaty of Warsaw or Warsaw in December 1970, the Four Power Agreement of Berlin in September 1971, and the Transit Agreement in the May 1972, and the Basic Treaty in December 1972, which relinquished any separate claims to an exclusive mandate over Germany as a whole and established normal relations between the two Germanys. Both countries were admitted into the United Nations of 18 September 1973. Moment, I have made the text too much down. This also increased the number of countries recognizing East Germany to 55, including the United States, the United Kingdom, and France. Throughout these three still refused to recognize East Berlin as the capital and is insisted on a specific provision in the UN resolution accepting the two Germanys into the UN to that effect. Following the Ostrepublik, the West German view was that East Germany was a de facto government within a single German nation and the your state organization of parts of Germany outside the Federal Republic or West Germany. The Federal Republic conditioned it to maintain that it could not, within its own structures, recognize the GDR de jure as a sovereign state under international law. But it's fully acknowledged that within the structures of international law, the GDR was an independent sovereign state. By distinction, West Germany then viewed itself as being within its own boundaries, not only the de facto and the de jure government, but also the sole de jure legitimate representative of a dormant Germany as whole. The two Germanies each relinquished any claim to represent the other internationally, which they acknowledged as necessarily implying mutual recognition of each other as both capable of representing their own populations, de jure. Okay, yes, that is not so interesting, but apology. In participation in international bodies and agreements such as the United Nations and the Helsinki Final Act. This from here to here, I make a short jump. The GDR identity. From the beginning, the newly formed GDR tried to establish its own separate identity. Because of the imperial and military legacy of Prussia, the SED, Sozialistische Einheitspartei Deutschlands, repudiated, yes, continuity between Prussia and the GDR. The SED destroyed a number of symbolic relics of the former Prussian aristocracy. For example, younger manor houses were torn down. The Berliner Stadtschloss was razed, and the Palace of the Republic, or Palast der Republik, was built in its place. One moment. Must drink short a little bit. And the equestrian state tour of Friedrich the Great, Friedrich der Große, was removed from East Berlin. Instead, the SED focused on the progressive heritage of German history, including Thomas Münzer's role in the German Peace War between of 1547 and 1557. Apology. Including Thomas Münzer's role in the German Peace War of 1502 and 4 and 1502 and 5, and the role played by the heroes of the class struggle during Prussia's industrialization. Apology. Other notable figures and performers from Prussian history, such as Karl Freiherr vom Stein, don't read now the year of birth and the year of death, such as Karl Freiherr vom Stein, Karl August von Hardenberg, Wilhelm von Humboldt, and Gerhard von Scharnhorst were upheld by the SED as examples and role models. The remembrance of the Third Reich, the communist regime of the GDR, based its legitimacy on the struggle of anti-fascist militants, a form of resistance cult was established in the Buchenwald Camp Memorial Site with the creation of a museum in 1958 and the annual celebration of the Buchenwald outtaken on 19 April 1945 by the prisoners who pledged to fight for peace and freedom. In the 1990s, the state anti-fascism of the GDR gave way to the state anti-communism of the FRG. From the on, the dominant interpretation of GDR history based on the concept of totalitarianism led to the equivalence of communism and Nazism. Historian Ann-Kathleen Tilak-Graf shows, with the help of the newspaper Neues Deutschland, that was the name from this newspaper, Neues Deutschland, how the national memorials of Buchenwald, Sachsenhausen and Ravensbrück were politically instrumentalized in the GDR, particularly during the celebrations of the liberation of the concentration camps. Alltag official built in opposition to the fascist world in West Germany in 1905 and 4. 3 and 2% of public administration employees were former members of the Nazi Party. However, in 1961, the share of former NSDAP members among the senior Interior Ministry administration staff was less than 10% in the GDR, compared to 16.7% in the FRG. With other words, in the former GDR, it was only in the later politic 10% former Nazi Party members in the West Germany, or in the BRD was 6 and 7% former Nazi Party members in the Bundestag, in the government. In the former GDR, only 10% in the former BRD or Bundesrepublik Deutschland, 6 and 7%. While in West Germany, a work of memory of the resurgence of Nazism was carried out, this was not the case in the East. Indeed, as Axel Dossmann, professor of history in the University of Jena notes this phenomenon was completely hidden. For the state's SED, the East German Communist Party, it was impossible that to omit the existence of neo-Nazis, since the foundation of the GDR was to be an anti-fascist state. The Stasi, Ministerium für Staatssicherheit on German, Stasi, short Stasi, the short version from this name, Ministerium for Staatssicherheit, Ministry for State Security. The Stasi kept an eye on them, but they were considered to be outsider or thick-skinned bullies. These young people grew up hearing a double talk. At school it was forbidden to talk about the Third Reich, and at home their grandparents told them how, thanks to Hitler, we had the first motorways. On the 17th October 1987, 30 or so skinheads violently threw themselves into a crowd of 2,000 people at a rock concert in the Sionskirche without the police intervening. In 1990, the writer Freya Clear received a death threat for writing an essay on anti-Semitism and xenophobia in the GDR. SPD Vice President Wolfgang Thierse, for his part, complained in Die Welt newspaper, that is the name from this newspaper, Die Welt, about the rise of the extreme right in the everyday life of inhabitants of the former GDR, in particular the terrorist group NSU, with the German journalist Odile Benyahir co-editor explaining that it is not so coincidence that the neo-Nazi party NPD has experienced a renaissance via the East. The historian Sonja Komp observed that until the 1990s, the majority of West Germany historians described the Normandy landings in June 1944 as an invasion, exonerated the Wehrmacht of its responsibility for the genocide of the Jews, and fabricated the myth of a diplomatic corps that did not know. On the contrary, Auschwitz was never a taboo in the GDR. The Nazis' crimes were the subject of extensive film, theatre, and literary productions in 1991. 16% of the population in West Germany and 6% in East Germany had anti-Semitic prejudices. In 1994, 40% of West Germans and 2% of East Germans felt that too much emphasis was placed on the genocide of the Jews. Historian Ulrich Feil, nevertheless, recalls the fact that the anti-fascist commemoration in the GDR had a hagiographic and indoctrination character, as in the case of the memory of the protagonists of the German labor movement and the victims of the camps. It was staged, censored, ordered, and during the 40 years of the regime was an instrument of legitimization, repression, and maintenance of power. So, one moment, please. Here now comes the years after the end of the former GDR, das Ende der ehemaligen DDR. So I make a new video. So I make now a short close, so I can describe these videos, the active years, the real active years of the former GDR East Germany, and the next video will become the years after 1989 or 1990. Okay? I make now a short close. I make later in a following video a new part. Okay? Ciao or bye.